Well, the good news is we are already finished with our grammar book, so we don't even have any grammar to do today. That's
Yeah,
exciting.
I brought my grammar book and forgot that.
Yeah, you don't even need your grammar book anymore. Don't throw it away though. Make sure you give it to your mom because who knows, she might want to keep it for some reason. Okay. It's a little cloudy in Porterville. Wow. I think it's kind of all over California today, so it's kind of an interesting day. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump right into the paper you guys have been working on. You've been working on a paper about poisonous animals. So go ahead and get your binders, and I want you to take out your keyword outlines you've been working on. Remember the barracuda? We did that one, and then we did polar bears, and then for the last one, you guys picked the last one to do. So go ahead and get out the keyword outlines and get out all the stuff from your front pocket. Okay, we're going to look at page 171. This is where we're going to start today. 171. So you should have already written your 3 body paragraphs today or for today about those 3 different animals. And remember, you guys used a website to help you find facts about some of the animals, especially the last paragraph that you wrote. So we wrote about barracuda. I think everybody wrote about the polar bear. And then Julio, which one did you do for your 3rd body paragraph? What was the 3rd animal you picked?
Oops, I pressed the wrong one.
That's okay.
It was the poison dart frog.
Poison dart frog. How about you, London? What was the 3rd animal you wrote about? She's looking for the mute button. She's like, where's that mute button?
Pufferfish.
The puffer fish. Okay. And then Megan, what was the 3rd animal you wrote about? I see it in the chat. The hawksbill sea turtle. Okay, cool. So you all three wrote about different ones. That's good. Now we're going to write the conclusion next. So when you guys write a 5-paragraph essay like this is a big one, just like when you wrote about a country and you wrote about what was the other one you wrote about? You've done this a couple of times before. So this one, we're going to write from the inside out. So the inside of the paper is the 3 paragraphs that you already did. Those are the body paragraphs. That's the inside of the paper. Now we're going to write the outside of the paper, which is the introduction and the conclusion. But the first thing, or I should say, the next thing we're going to work on though is the conclusion. This is the last paragraph of your paper. This is paragraph 5. Okay, so get out page 171 and you'll see the outline here toward the bottom where it says keyword outline for conclusion, and you see that Roman numeral 5, and then you see topic A, topic B, and topic C. So everybody wrote about barracuda for A. So what I want you to do is just write barracuda right here and put a box around it like this. So barracuda was topic A. Polar bear, that was topic B. And then topic C, you're going to put the name of the animal that you did. All 3 of you did a different one for topic C. So if it was hawksbill sea turtle, you'll write that in right here for topic C, or the golden poison frog. So next to barracuda, we still have space for 2 more words. The polar bear, that's 2 words, so we'll just add 1 more word. And then however many you need here to add to your topic C. So what you're going to do though is think of some words to basically summarize these animals. And you might have more than one sentence about them in your conclusion. But really, it's basically wanting you to sum up. So like for the barracuda, you might say something like, the barracuda is one of the most dangerous fish in the sea or in the ocean or something like that. You can put something like that about the barracuda, and then you can say something about the polar bear. Polar bear primarily lives in the Arctic, but make sure you don't eat a polar bear's liver. Something like that, okay? And then whatever this last one is. So you're summing up each one of your topics in your conclusion like that. And up here at the top, it does describe that. It says write a sentence or two, so you can do two per animal. That's okay too. Try to convey the main idea of each body paragraph. Highlight or bold the topic keywords. So that's why I put a box around it, because in your conclusion paragraph, you don't need to do topic clincher like you do all the other ones. All you're highlighting is the topics. And the topics are barracuda, polar bear, and then whatever your third animal is. So those are the words you need to highlight. Don't worry about topic clincher in the conclusion paragraph. Okay, anybody have any questions about that part? Okay, then you see most significant and why. Now, let's go back up here to the paragraph above that. On page 171, it says, what is the most important, most interesting, or most significant thing to remember about all that you wrote about and why? You may choose one of your topics, like barracuda, polar bear, or golden poison frog. You may choose one of those and tell why it is the most significant. Or you may choose something that tells the importance of the entire subject. And remember, the entire subject is poisonous animals. And the entire subject is talking about don't eat these poisonous animals, right? That's the whole message you want to tell your reader. Don't eat these because you could die. That would be bad, right? Or you could get really, 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 really sick. So think about what you want to choose as the most significant thing or part of your paper that you want to put here. Now, they gave you a bunch of lines. So if it helps to write out the sentence right here, I'm okay with that. Kind of helps put it into words. Like you could say something like, the most significant thing to remember, oops, I didn't spell that right. Remember is blank. Don't eat poisonous animals. The polar bear's liver is extremely poisonous, so you can either choose one of these or talk about the subject as a whole. But keep going, write the rest of that sentence. And then you would say something like, this is important because blank. So take a minute and think about that. Let me know your ideas once you think of something that you want to use there, and you can write that down. So while you're working on that, Megan, yes, you're going to have openers in the paragraphs, yes, on your checklist. You're welcome. Okay, thumbs up when you figured out the most important part or thing of your paper and why. Did you finish that, London?
Almost.
You did? Okay, what did you put?
I'm almost done.
Oh, almost. Okay, go ahead. How about you, Megan? Did you finish that?
No, because I don't know what else to put down.
What do you have so far?
The most important thing to remember is blank. This is important because blank.
Okay. So, what do you think when you look back on the paragraphs that you wrote, or you can just think back on those animals? What do you think is important for people to remember about those animals?
Not eat the animals because it's poison.
Yes. Okay. So, the most significant thing to remember is do not eat these poisonous animals. You can write that out. Do not eat these poisonous animals.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And then tell why that's important because you'll get sick, because you might die. You can tell what happens, kind of summarize that.
All right, I'm gonna write poison. Hopefully, I know how to spell it.
Yes.
Poison.
Yes, that's exactly right. Good job.
This is important because blank.
Yes. This is important because if you eat a poisonous animal, you could get really sick or you could die, something like that.
Because you could die.
Yeah. Julia, what did you put for yours?
I put the most significant thing to remember is not to eat polar bear liver. This is important because it has too much vitamin A and can be deadly.
Nice. I like how you said that. And you got an ly adverb in there too. That was pretty good. And because. How about you, London? What did you put?
The most significant thing to remember is to avoid consuming these poisonous animals. This is very important to remember because it can result in death.
Nice. I like how you worded that. Very good. Excellent. Okay, it looks like Megan, you got yours figured out. So we're going to turn it over to the back side now of this paper. And the last thing that we write is the introduction. I know that sounds funny because the introduction is the first paragraph you read, right? That's why it's called an introduction. It's like when you go to meet somebody for the first time, there's an introduction. Like, this is Matthew, this is Julio, and you introduce each other. So the introduction in a paper is the first paragraph you read. But in the style of this writing, because we're writing from the inside out, writing from inside first, those body paragraphs, then conclusion, and the last thing we write is the introduction. But like I said, this goes first. So see the Roman numeral 1 down here. This is the first paragraph. Okay, so we're going to plug it in the first paragraph. And the very first sentence that the person reading your paper is going to read is the attention getter. So jump up here to the top. It says, start your introduction with a sentence that encourages your reader to continue reading. Begin with a question, a fact or statistic, or a very short sentence. Remember, that's the VSS. So you can decide how you want to start your paper, like what you want to put for your very first sentence. Does anybody have any ideas of how you want to start this paper? You guys have any ideas yet? It can be a question. Oh, go ahead, Julio.
I was I was thinking about like talking about the types of poisonous animals.
Yeah, you could, like other than what you wrote about in the paper or the ones you wrote about.
Like other than the ones that I wrote about.
Other than yeah, you could do that. You could look up online if it's okay with your mom. You can look up how many poisonous animals there are in the world. That would be an interesting fact to start with, right? See how it says fact or statistic? You could say there are 10,000 poisonous animals in the world. That would be a good way to start it, like a fact like that.
Yeah, because there are a lot of poisonous animals.
I'm sure there's more than 10,000. I just picked a number. There's probably more than that even. Okay, that's a good idea. London, do you have an idea of what you want to start your paper with? Could be a VSS or it could be a question or fact.
A VSS probably.
Okay, that's 2 to 5 words. So what kind of a VSS could you do?
Um, these animals are very poisonous.
Animals are very poisonous. Yeah, you could do that. I had an idea too. You could say poisonous animals are dangerous. That's 4 words. That would work. You're on the right track. Think about that. And if you're doing a VSS, I'm okay if you want to write the VSS here because it's short anyway. But if you want to do a fact like Julio, you could put a note here like this. Look up interesting fact. You just put a note here for yourself so later you can look it up online. But what do you think, Megan? Do you want to do a VSS, a question, or a fact?
A question.
Okay.
Why are poison animals poison?
Oh, why are poisonous animals poisonous? Maybe like that. That's a good one. You can write out that question right here. How about why are some animals?
Yeah.
Then we're not using poisonous twice. Why are some animals poisonous? You can write that down there. Gonna have to write kind of small. All right, good. All 3 of you have some good ideas. So the next part, while you're writing that, I'm just going to talk about the next part, which is the background. Tell your reader that what the subject of the composition is about. This is what I'm reading up here. By making a general statement about the subject. Then provide background information you think would be interesting or important. The background information should flow into the introduction of the topics. Now, remember, your topics are those 3 animals that we already talked about in the conclusion. So, you can introduce, like, give a little background about poisonous animals. And I think that's a good place to start, Megan. But what else could we say would be interesting and important that would flow into poisonous animals? It could be something like, in many countries around the world, people eat certain animals that can harm them or something like that. You give a little background about the topic or the subject. The subject is poisonous animals. In America, honestly, in America, we don't really eat those kinds of foods. So this is really talking about, as you read through these different animals, some of them are in Japan or in some island somewhere. I know the quail is in America, but some of these other animals are not normal animals that we see all the time.
Yeah, we went to our friend's anniversary and we seen a lot of quails in the field.
Oh, cool. Did you tell them about what you learned about quails?
No.
That's okay. It's kind of interesting that you know that. It's an interesting fact about them. But and you can talk about, like, another thing you can bring up here is some of the animals are poisonous because of what they eat. And that's true of the quail. If the quail eats a poisonous berry and then you eat the quail, then that makes you sick, right? So that's the thing. Like, some animals, it depends on what they actually eat. And some animals are poisonous by just touching them, like the poison dart frog or the golden poison frog, right? You don't necessarily have to eat the frog, that'd be gross. But if you touch it, you could get sick. So you could say something like, um, many, and then poisonous. I'm going to put A for animals, and then I'm going to put world, like basically saying there are many poisonous animals around the world. If you like that idea, you can put that. If you have something else, you put something else. And maybe some toxic to eat. I'm gonna put a little Pac-Man here. And then some because of their touch, like when you touch it. So I'm just showing you examples. You can copy this if you want, but if you have other ideas, put your ideas here. So I have many poisonous around world, some toxic to eat, and some are toxic to touch or poisonous to touch. And I might use like dangerous. You can think of some other words here, okay? So you get the idea. The background is like introducing these animals. We're not talking about puppies and kittens, right? We're talking about these crazy animals. And then again, here for topic A, again, we're going to put barracuda. Everybody wrote about that one. Put a box around that. Blank, blank. And then we all wrote about polar bear. And then our last one, you guys all wrote about different ones there. Okay, so whatever your last animal was that you wrote about. This is the introduction paragraph. So you are now introducing these animals. So it's different than summarizing them. These are, you're introducing them. So you might say that a barracuda is a fish. Look at that paragraph really quick. And you can always look back on the paragraphs where you got your information. I'm going to put fish here. And see if you can find something to like introduce it. I'm looking back on where was the fish? Where is it? Does it say where it lives? Looking back on I don't think it says here. Tropical climates, tropical areas. I might put that. Lives in the tropical waters. Polar bear. I might say something about the Arctic. Okay, you get the idea. I want you guys to think about that and fill in the blanks. You're introducing these subjects. Give me a thumbs up when you got this all filled out, all the blanks and everything filled out. Okay, so I'm going to give you a minute to work on that. Hey, give me a thumbs up when you got that filled out. Okay. Okay, good. Oh, I see your note. If the animal eats something poisonous and is not affected, wouldn't all the animals just like that you eat have a chance? Oh, not necessarily. Not necessarily. It has to do with how their bodies digest whatever the poisonous thing is, if it's like a berry or something like that. It doesn't necessarily mean it always makes it poisonous. Okay,
Um,
go ahead.
my computer just started making some noise.
The puppies did?
No, the computer.
Oh, weird.
I'd never heard that before. But it's
Oh,
fine, I guess.
that is weird. I see your note there too, Megan. Let's see. I would put beautiful and toxic. That's for hers. She needed help with that. So you guys are ready now, after you write all that down, you guys are ready now to do your conclusion paragraph and your introduction paragraph. That will make 5 paragraphs total. So before we go on to the next thing, get out your checklist really quick. It is on page 175. Okay. Did you write it down, Megan? Okay, good. So let's look at the checklist really quick. Do you see how you have paragraphs 1 through 5 here? So that means your introduction paragraph and your paragraph 5, which is your conclusion, you still have to have all the dress ups and the openers. Okay. Prepositional, ly, and VSS. Now, VSS is anywhere in the paragraph. It does not have to be the first sentence of the paragraph. It can be anywhere in the paragraph. Don't forget about these band words because some of you are still accidentally using these band words. So I want you to double check, make sure you're not using, especially like bad. If you're talking about toxic and poison, you might be tempted to say that would be bad to eat that. Don't use bad or eat or ate. Okay. Stay away from these band words. Okay. The other thing I want to point out, do you see where it says body? Up here, topic clincher sentences, repeat or reflect 2 to 3 keywords, highlight or bold. That's the topic clincher rule you guys have been doing for a while. Must repeat or reflect 2 to 3 keywords. That's the topic clincher for body paragraphs only. Notice how the introduction and the conclusion are separate. So the introduction says it includes an attention getter, background information, and states the topics, bold or highlight. That's why we put a box around it here. Just to remind you, that's the only thing you're highlighting or bolding in the introduction and the conclusion, okay? All right. And then the conclusion says the same thing, restates the topics, highlight or bold or highlight, and indicates most significant and why. So if you follow the plan on your template there for introduction and conclusion, you'll be good. You got to still make sure to include your dress ups and your openers though, okay? All right, so your homework this week, and we have more time, we're going to do one more thing before you go, but your homework this week is to write the introduction and the conclusion of your paper. So you're going to turn in 5 paragraphs. Julio's like, yes, I got it. I got it. You're cracking me up. No grammar this week. No. No grammar. All right, so that's your homework. Now we're going to do one more thing because I want to get ready for your last paper. Okay, you got one more paper to write for this year, and then you're done with my class. So keep all of this about poisonous animals in your front pocket. Go ahead and put it away in your front pocket because you're going to finish that one. You're going to do the introduction and the conclusion. And I want you to get out week 20. It's a big one, so get out week 20. I want you to keep week 19 in your front pocket. Keep it there with your outlines and everything. Keep all that in your front pocket. And I want you to get out week 20. And it's going to be behind that first tab. And we're talking about more poisonous animals because they're just interesting. What can I say, right?
Venomous this time.
Venomous. That is a type of poison, right? Venomous beasts. Now, venom is poison. So we're going to talk, this is the last paper you guys are going to do is this one, okay? So I want to get it ready for you. All right. I also want you to get out 2, if you have 2 pieces of big white paper or 2 pieces of computer paper? We're going to get 2 of those out because we're going to get this set up for this assignment. Okay. I'm going to set up 2. I'm going to get out 2 white pieces of paper. I'm going to use regular computer size paper. But if you like the big white one and you have some left in the back of your binder, get that out too. Okay, yep, you already know how to fold it, huh, London? You're gonna fold it like this first, like a taco style. Hey, that's perfect for Cinco de Mayo. Taco fold. Do you have paper, Megan? Go get some printer paper from the printer. Get 2 pieces, okay?
All right, I'm gonna have to go to my mom's office, which is
Okay,
close to me.
okay, go ahead and get that.
Good thing we have our printer right here,
That worked out, huh?
right down here.
So you're gonna do like the taco fold and then fold it in thirds. Remember, you go past the middle and then the other side on top. So it looks like this. Fold one side past the middle and then the other side on top of that. Good, you got it, London. Do that for the second piece too, okay? Fold them both. Let me zoom out a little bit here.
Did you say 2?
I did. I said 2. So start by folding it this way. One piece. You can do one piece at a time. Fold it this way. And then you're going to go past the middle. Go past the middle, and then the other side goes on top of that. Okay, Megan? So do past the middle a little ways, and then go the other side on top of that. And it should look like this when it's folded. Yes, that looks good. And then open it up, and then do that for the other piece of paper too. Fold the other.
Hey, I did a better job this time.
That looks
I have
perfect.
6
Yes.
blanks.
Do that with the other piece too. Okay, Megan, so you should have 2 folded like that. Good job, Julio. I see yours too. All right, and we're gonna do I'm gonna have you guys fill this in again. And we're gonna start with Roman numeral 1 here. Yep. Roman numeral 1, and this is gonna be 1 through 4, and 4 is optional. So we're gonna put parentheses around 4 like that. Do that for B, Roman numeral 1, 1 through 4. And C, 1 through 4. And then under B, we do fused, outline.
And then possible
And
topics.
and then fused outline. I'm looking here to see how many we need for fused. We'll do number 1, and we'll do 1 through 6 here. And then clincher. Let's put parentheses around 6 here. So you need 5, but you can have 6 here if you have a 6th one. Okay, well, 6 is optional. And then you're right. Good job, Julio. Possible topics. And we'll just stop there for a second. We'll set up the other one in a minute. But we need to get ourselves organized. Remember, we've got 3 articles in this one too. We've got page 179. Looks like this. Are you finished, Megan? Did you write it down? Okay, good. 179. Julio, did you have a question?
Um, do we have to do paragraphs about this while we're doing?
Good question. I'll tell you at the end, but basically you're going to set up your keyword outline, but not write yet for this. Okay. But you're going to focus on paragraphs. You're going to do your introduction and conclusion of your other paper, but you're going to get your outline ready to go. Okay. All right. So this is A. This is page 179A. Gotta label everything. And we're talking about other animals here that are venomous. Okay. The first paragraph here, this is page 179. Make sure you put A on top because remember, information from A goes with A. The first paragraph is about the solenodon. That's what it's called. It's the second word here, the solenodon. It's a weird name. And it says, is a very strange animal, which it is, and you're going to read about that. So circle solenodon. And I'm just going to have you circle the topics. You're going to do the reading by yourself later, okay? But down here at the very bottom, in the second paragraph down here, it says marbled cone snail. Circle that. That's another animal you're going to learn about in this paper, okay, in this article. So you've got solenodon and marble cone snail. Give me thumbs up if you circled those two. Okay. Turn it over. The next paragraph here is a long article, by the way. The platypus. Those guys are kind of cute. And here's a picture of one. The platypus, that is another venomous animal, which sounds weird, but you're going to find out how. Platypus has venom. I did not know that. It's interesting. Okay, and then the next page, hold on. Is this one. Page 181. Find page 181. This one is talking about the octopus. So circle octopuses right here. This is page 181. So we just circled 4 different animals that are venomous. Okay, so we're going to write these down on our list of possible topics. You guys got it? So going back to the beginning, we circled solenodon. I want you to write in that word. There's a lot of them, so keep it kind of small. Solenodon. And then we're going to put A because we're looking at Article A right now. Are you good, Megan?
That is tiny.
I know we're writing kind of small, huh?
I could barely see it, and I don't know how to spell
Let me zoom in a
it.
little bit so you can see it better.
All right, that's very much better.
Okay, good. Solenodon, marbled cone Snail was the second one. What was the next one? Who knows what the next one we circled was? London?
Platypus.
Platypus. Platypus. That's an A. And what was the last one, Julio, that we circled?
I thought the platypus was the last one.
There was one more on page 181. Did you get
Oh
that one?
yeah, octopuses.
There you go, octopuses. I'm just going to put octopus.
Yeah, because that sound good.
Those are all in Article A. All right, thumbs up when you got those written down. Okay. I want you to go ahead, if you have it written down, go ahead and go on to Article B. We're going to look for animals in that article. We're just getting ourselves organized so we're ready next week to start this paper. Okay, this week you're only going to write about your introduction and conclusion for your other paper there. Article B, good, I see that, is this one. This is on page 183. Whoops, now I'm zoomed in too much, huh? There we go. Potent venom. That's the name of this one. Put a B at the top here. And what do you think the first paragraph is about? What venomous animal is the first one? London.
Rattlesnakes.
Rattlesnakes. There it is. Go ahead and circle it. This is one giant paragraph about the rattlesnake. We know about those here in California. Okay, turn it over to the back. Julio, what's on the back? What's the next venomous animal or beast?
Scorpion.
Scorpion, circle scorpion. And then there's a new paragraph down here toward the bottom. Oh, I can't stand snakes, by the way. Circle sea snakes. This article continues on page 185. So if you look at page 185, there's a little bit more at the top about sea snakes. And then we see the platypus again right here. So there's another paragraph about the platypus. So now we got to write this in our possible topics. So go back here to possible topics. I know I'm going kind of fast here. Now I'm going to zoom in for you, Megan, so you can see it. Next was rattlesnake. The rattlesnake, that was in B. Okay, you're going to write kind of small because we have a long list here, okay? Scorpion. That was also in B. Sea snake. B. And then the platypus we already had up here. So I'm going to put a comma and a B next to platypus because it was also in B. So platypus was the only one in both of those articles.
I have a feeling it's gonna be in C too.
Yeah, I think so. Let's look at it. So go ahead and find the third article. Hard to get all these papers organized, but try to keep everything organized, okay? Because that's going to help you keep track of this. So the last article is this one called Venomous Beasts. This is page 187. This is going to be C. Make sure you start by putting a C at the top here.
You might not want to look at the picture in the back of the page.
Uh-oh. Now you made me want to look. No. Okay, back to the front. C. And that first paragraph, it talks about the rattlesnake. It's a little bit down, so look for the word rattlesnake there. Circle rattlesnake. Talking about that one again in this article. And then you probably already saw it. The next paragraph has scorpions. Circle that. You guys good? Staying with me okay? I know I'm going a little fast here. Then, ooh, yeah. This is called a zebra. Actually, you know what? It's called, I'm going to circle the word tie too. It's called tie zebra tarantulas. Whoa. I know what a tarantula is, but I think this one's even bigger than the tarantula that I've seen. And there's one more page to the rest of this article. Page 189. It's got a cute picture of a little hedgehog. That is a cute one. So then I didn't know that hedgehogs were poisonous though, did you? They have poison in their little spikes, I guess. Okay, so now we're going to record this on our list of possible topics. Okay, so we had rattlesnake. I'll zoom in on this one. This rattlesnake was in C, so I'm going to put a comma C for that one. We had scorpions. That was also in C. Then we had this new one, Thai zebra tarantula. So I'm going to write that one in, Thai zebra tarantula. And that was in C. And then the hedgehog. That was also in C. Okay, that's everything. Wow, that was a lot. So I guess the platypus was not in C after all, Julio. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have you guys just start with finding information about one of these animals, okay? You're not going to write a paragraph about this yet. You're just going to do your keyword outline for number one. Get it ready for the next paper. We just want to make sure to fit it all in, okay? So you get to pick. Here is your long list of choices. So let's say you're interested in learning about the hedgehog and you want to write a paragraph about the hedgehog because maybe you like Sonic the Hedgehog and you're like, oh, that'd be cool. I can write about a hedgehog. So if you choose hedgehog, it is only in one article. It's only in C. So you will use that article for C, and then you would check with your parents and look up on Google hedgehog for kids. Remember, that's the way to search on Google for this type of homework. And then you would have to find two different articles for A and B about the hedgehog. And then you're going to fill in A for one website and B from another website. C is coming from article C, this one, that talked about the hedgehog back here, this one. You would use, this is for C, right? Because you have information here for C. Did you have a question, Julio?
I was gonna say I'm doing platypus because
Yeah.
I've never thought that platypus was poisonous, so I want to learn more about that one.
I like that. Okay, so let's look at platypus. It's right here. You have article A and B. That's kind of nice because you already have two articles to use for A and B. So you'll just look up one more. And so when you're ready for this one, for C, check with your mom and then go to Google and type in platypus for kids. And you'll probably see something like National Geographic for kids. You'll see Britannica for kids. You'll see some information about platypus for kids. Pick one and use it to find 3 or 4 facts, different facts here, okay? This is true for all of you. Each one of these should have different facts. So if you already write about like where they live in A, don't do that again for B and C. You guys are looking for different facts for each one of these outlines, and then you're going to mix them up here. And really, you only need 5 or 6. So you're not going to use all your facts here. You're going to pick your favorites. Okay. All right, so this first step, I want everybody to circle the one that you're going to write about this week. So I know that Julio is going to circle platypus. London, go ahead and pick one and circle one. And Megan, pick one and circle one. And then whatever you pick, whatever animal you pick, write it here next to all the number ones. Okay? If you pick platypus, so Julio, you'll put platypus, 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 platypus. This one will have a blank and a blank, okay? So you can add more later. What did you pick for yours, Megan?
I'm doing rattlesnakes because I've done it before.
Oh, that's a good one. So you'll put rattlesnake, 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 rattlesnake. And how about you, London? Which one did you pick?
Rattlesnake.
Okay, perfect. So for you guys, you have B and C. You're going to look up one more. So rattlesnake for kids for A. And then use that information for your fused. All right, you guys. So you're going to finish just the outline. You don't have to write yet for this. Your homework is to finish the other paper, your introduction and your conclusion. All right, that's it for today. Sorry, I went a little long. I know you guys got to go.
All right. Hold on.
See you next week. Bye. Have a good week, you guys.